Hello everyone, this is Scott Lowe with IGN. I'm here with Alex Roth. I just got back from the WWDC Keynote, Apple's big event today to talk about Mac, iOS. No hardware, unfortunately, but you were watching from the sidelines. We're both kind of big tech heads, so let's just go over the big news. So first off is iOS 8, which is kind of a big deal. If you're unfamiliar, iOS is the mobile operating system for iPad, iPhone, and so like some of the big features were, kind of this idea of continuity between the two big operating systems, Mac and iOS.
Unification between your laptop and your mobile Mac devices.
Yeah. So one of the big features is called Handoff, which was basically a way for apps, at least Apple-designed apps, to intelligently detect when you are near a Mac or your iPhone or vice versa, and being able to start and stop documents on the fly. So if you're writing an email or writing a draft of something, when you're near a Mac, it'll actually be like, do you want to continue this here? Which is really kind of cool. Basically, the big takeaway from a lot of the big announcements today was not so much that it was novel, new stuff. It was just sort of in terms of the sense that it's nothing that we haven't seen before. NFC is kind of a common thing these days, but the refinement, and the kind of implementation,
filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
Like iCloud becoming iCloud Drive, kind of like Google Docs became Google Drive not long ago. So it's not just limited to your photos, and it's also no longer down-resing your photos. It's keeping them in their complete form, and it's incredibly cheap to get the storage to the point where the prices are, it's why not pricing, you might as well.
So it's 5 gigs free, 20 gigs for 99 cents a month, and then 200 gigs for $3.99 a month, which adds up for a full year, but on a pricing on a, if you spend 99 cents on an app once a month, you're basically paying for 20 gigs of storage on iCloud.
And that 5 gigs for free is going to get you using it and going to get you wanting more storage.
Yeah. So other big kind of continuity features, as what they call it, was the iDrop, or AirDrop rather. It now extends to both iOS devices and Mac. So previously it was limited to iOS. So if you had a dock or a contact that you wanted to share with another device, you could do it wirelessly. Now you can do that with Mac and iOS. And then iMessage, or Messages, has gotten a huge upgrade that I think you and I are both personally very excited about.
Yeah, this is something I've wanted for so long, which is before only a message, a text from another iPhone would pop up on your Mac when you have iMessages set up, but now it'll bring everything. And I know this may sound like the ultimate first world problem, but it's so nice to know that I can just rely on one iOS device or one Apple device. I can bring my iPad into the living room and not worry that I'm going to miss certain text messages that are only going to pop up on my iPhone. Yeah,
so that now includes Android devices, Windows Phone. Basically, it sets sort of like relay, so that if you get a text message on your phone, it then sends it to your Mac if it's on the same network or if you're in proximity to each other, and you can even answer and respond.
Yeah.
But that also extends to calls as well. You could get caller ID, you can see that it's someone's calling, you can answer the phone, you can even make calls. One of the coolest things they showed was the fact that on a website there was a number for a restaurant or something, and he clicked it and he was able to call directly from his Mac, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Being that kind of implementation stuff. So that was the big stuff for iOS. There was a few kind of developer-centric stuff, there was HealthKit and HomeKit, which are these two SDK level things that basically pave the road for home automation, so you can turn on lights and lock your doors or shut your garage using your iPhone or your iOS device. And then the HealthKit, which is the new health suite, so that you can actually use fitness bands and that sort of thing. It's all kind of paving the way for Apple's rumored devices like the smartwatch, the iPhone 6, the next, and this is all kind of par for the course for Apple. They use WWDC to implement these new or announce these new features, and then on a developer level, and then they give them a big unveiling later in the year when the supporting devices are there.
Yeah, it's groundwork, and it's interesting that Apple is now letting the third parties sort of in the door first, whereas usually they'll make the first device or the first app that does whatever the new feature is. Now they're just kind of opening the door for Nike Fuel Band, other things like that.
Yeah. there are like tons of features to talk about, like, you know, the fact that you can respond to text right from the notification center. Now that there's like widget support, so you can in the notification center as well. That's all really cool. But on the gaming side of things, they introduced a new, again, this is all kind of developer focused, but it is kind of exciting, is Metal, which is a new game development feature which actually allows developers to kind of get rid of some of the overhead with some of like OpenGL and other you know, kind of protocols for game development, and really tap into the core like horsepower of the chip. And they actually showed off Plants vs. Zombies running on it, the collectibles from Crytek, and then they had most excitingly a live real-time demo of Zen Garden, an Epic Games Unreal 4 demo, which looked stunning. So yeah, no new hardware unfortunately, but you know, we're building to that. You know, we got iPhone 6 on the horizon, we've got potentially an iPad refresh, new Macs, that sort of thing, all sort of coming soon. But again, this is just kind of like a top-down glance at what happened today for all things Apple regarding to the WWDC keynote and more. Stay tuned to IGN.